Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauradvishe Namah He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So welcome all the devotees. Today we will try to do Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 4, Chapter 11. Let's see. Hopefully we will have the full session, a complete chapter. Today we have many verses, not many verses, but there are many purports in the verses. So I've marked some highlights of those. There is a philosophical section which is very with long purports. So that section, if we read very thoroughly, it will take more time. Let's see how we are able to take it ahead. So the 11th chapter is Swayambhuva Manu advises Dhruv Maharaj to stop fighting. So now you have seen last that Dhruv Maharaj was fighting very vigorously, and at one point of time he was overwhelmed also because of the mystical powers which were shown by the yakshas. And then the sages assembled, seeing that he is becoming overwhelmed. They made him remember the Lord, Lord Narayana. And from there, he again comes to his full form. And that's what we are here going to witness. Maitre Uvacha Nishamya Gatatam Evam Rishinam Dhanushi Dhruva Sandadestram Upasprisya Jannarayana Nirmitam.
Sri Maitra said,
Should I make it bigger?
My dear Vidur, when Dhruv Maharaj heard the encouraging words of the great sages, he performed the achamana by touching water and then took up his arrow made by Lord Narayana and fixed it upon his bow. Without Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, no one is able to overcome the action of the illusory energy. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has also given us a nice weapon for this age, as stated in the Bhagavatam, Sangopanga Astra. In this age, the Narayana Astra, or weapon to drive away Maya, is the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra in persons of the assets of Lord Chaitanya, such as Advaita, Nityananda, Gadadhara, and Srivas.
So, here there was an illusion created by the mystical powers of yakshas, and he can overcome that by Narayana Astra. So, Srila Prabhupada is taking the context of that we want to overcome the illusionary energy of the Lord. So, Mahamevya Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantide. And the Lord has come in form of the holy name, Sango Pangastra Parshadam. So Narayana Astra is now the weapon of the holy name, and it should be chanted in pursuance of the associates of the Lord. So, what does it mean to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra in pursuance of the associates of the Lord? In pursuance, what do you understand? Like if we're chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, But what does this mean? In pursuance of the associates of the Lord, of Lord Chaitanya. Under their guidance. Okay. Very good. Under their guidance. Pursuance. Pursuance means in following them, like I'll show you. Oh, you are not saying. Pursuance means a search for an alternate, no, not this one. The continuance of something begun with a view to its completion. Matlab ki, the way they are doing it, we do that, in that. Okay. Any? What is pursuance? When we say Gaur Vihita Kirtana Shuni, Gaur Vihit, it should be in the as prescribed by Gaurang Math. Also, when it's saying that in pursuance of the associates of the Lord, there are Mayavadis also who chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. You know? Mayavadis also. But they are thinking we will become Radha Krishna. Huh? So, Diksha Parampara is one thing, but we should also understand the Tattva. We should understand the mood. Tattva and Bhava of the Parampara has to be taken up. Then the pursuance is there. Otherwise, if we are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra with the mood of becoming Radha Krishna, then we are rascals. And the mood of Lord Chaitanya's associates is Prema Bhakti, Preeti for the Lord. So one should chant with those type of moods in the chanting of the holy name. Anyway, let's go ahead. Sandhiyaman etasmin maya guhyaka nirmita shipram vineshur vidura klesha jnanodaye yatha.
As soon as Dhruva Maharaj joined the Narayanastra arrows, to his vow, the illusion created by the Yakshas was immediately vanquished. Just as all material pains and pleasure are vanquished when one becomes fully cognizant of the self.
Read.
As soon as there is awakening of Krishna consciousness, all the illusionary pains and pleasure of material existence are vanquished. Mayam etam tarantite. 7.14. Constant chanting of the Mahamantra will keep us always aloof from the illusionary energy of Maya.
So it's a very important principle that both pain and pleasure are illusory. So here he is saying that just as all material pain and pleasure vanquish when one becomes fully cognizant of the self. Like कोई बोले कि सुख और दुख में सुख ज्यादा अच्छा है ना, सुख थोड़ा तो अच्छा है ज्यादा, एक ही जैसा कैसे बोल सकते? बट शास्त्र से दैट सुख एंड दुख बोथ आर ऑफ सेम थिंग ओनली, सेम आइडिया, दे आर कमिंग फ्रॉम द सेम आइडिया ओनली, both are on the illusory concept of life. So recently I was hearing as well as Radhagovind Maharaj was saying ki when people see, when we hear about Rasa Leela, then they compare with the mundane dealings between boy and girl, and they think ki it is same, but actually it has nothing to do with it. It is actually completely under the internal potency of the Lord. Their pleasure and pain is not at all of this type. And the pleasure pain of this of the illusory type are like सपने में कोई यूएस का प्रेसिडेंट बन गया या कोई भिखारी है. अभी सपने में प्रेसिडेंट बने या सपने में भिखारी है, जब सपना टूट जाएगा उसके बाद क्या? फिर तो वही है? ना तो भिखारी है ना प्रेसिडेंट है. तो सुख और दुख दोनों ऐसे हैं. सो वी परसीव ही इंसल्टेड मी, he glorified me, or I got a great position. Today I got very good results. Today I did not get any result. Sukha dukkha, So all the sukha dukkha born in this world is based on one's own perception through the false ego. And they are all finished at the time of, not at the time of death, at the time of liberation. At the time of death, we shift the idea to another dream. From one dream, we go to another dream. We die in human body, we become a cat. Then if you get a rat for today, you have a great feast. And and if you didn't get any rat, you have to fast till tomorrow. So sukha dukkha is all born in the illusory bodily concept of life. And when he put the Narayanastra, all the Yaksha's mystical program vanished into thin air. Just like Sukha Dukkha vanishes as soon as one wakes up. So we should always remember this dream-like situation of this world, of this existence. Because when we remember that factor, then we don't become very seriously caught in it. We don't become bogged up with that as if that detail is all in all. So like if we say, is the soul suffering in the bodily concept or not? Who is suffering? Who is suffering? Soul suffering? No. How many of you feel soul is suffering? How many of you feel soul is not suffering? Okay, all of you are saying soul is not suffering. Then body is anyway dead. Subtle body is also dead. So who is suffering? Soul, then soul is suffering. So is he suffering or not? He is suffering. Yeah. So it is a very amazing principle. If we can capture it very properly, then we understand. Soul is actually not suffering in one sense. So how to explain it very easily is the concept of dream. In dream, is someone suffering? Yes. In the dream, when he is in the dream, he feels suffering. If he is getting good marks and he is the topper of the class, he is enjoying also. And if he is being eaten by a tiger, he is getting all sweat across his body. So suffering and pleasure both are being experienced. But if someone wakes, he's and then mother wakes him up, hey, kya kar rahe ho? Uto, kya ho gaya? Kya hua? Then he understands, I had never suffered actually, but I was conceiving something which was actually happening in an illusory world because I was connecting to that reality. I was thinking I am in that reality. I am in that illusion as a reality. So that illusion was making me suffer it. So the dream concept makes things very clear that one is not suffering, but still one is suffering. Is the pain same? Matlab? Meeting with the next pain. When someone, okay, Prabhu is asking, if someone is in the dream and he got an accident, so because of the accident, he feels some pain in the dream. Is it of the same quantum as the pain experienced when one actually gets an accident? You're saying this? Is the quantum of pain same? Well, in one sense, it is same because the person does not experience anything on the body. He experiences actually in the mind. The mind is experiencing pains and pleasures. The pain is not experienced on the body. The body is just going through a transformation. But the mind experiences the pain. And when you connect to that illusory reality in the dream as the actual thing, then the subtle body feels that just like a man is enjoying with a woman in the subtle body, he dreams that I am embracing a woman and he gets a semen loss actually also. So on the mental platform also, one can experience the same thing. Yeah. But of course, when he wakes up, he will see that his leg is intact. He did not face the pain. So that much in the gross reality, he will not suffer later. So sometimes it is mentioned in this Prachina Parishad Narad Muni section that sometimes some of our reactions, which we should bear, Krishna gives in the dream only so that we don't have to suffer actually. Like I miss trains many times in the dream. Because I travel a lot. So Krishna gives me the reaction of suffering that I will miss trains in the dream so that I don't I don't make his money loss happen. If I actually miss trains, then Krishna's money will be lost. So Krishna very nicely strategizes. This fellow actually is a casual fellow. I'll make him suffer and make him more aware that I should not miss trains by making him feel the pain in dream. Then he will go in time for actual train. Huh? Pandurang should be saying every day I should get such a dream. Okay, let's go ahead. तस्यार शास्त्रम धनुषी प्रयुञ्जत सुवर्ण पुंखा कलहं सवासस विनिविष्टा आविविशुर्दुषद्बलं यथा वनं भीमरवासि खण्डिना.
Even as Dhruva Maharaj fixed a weapon made by Narayan Rishi onto his bow, arrows with golden shaft and feathers like the wings of a swan flew from it. They entered the enemy soldiers with a great hissing sound, just as peacocks enter a forest with tumultuous crowing.
We'll open that door after these children settle down. I'm sure you have to bear between sound and like transcendental sound and, so yeah. So even when he has not shot the arrow, simply the arrow is on the bow only, some arrows are coming out. Amazing, no? What type of weapon this must be? Narayana Astra. Okay. Taistigmadharai pradhane shili mukhe itastata punyajana upadhruta tamapyadhavan kupita udayudha suparnam unnada pana ivahaya.
Dismayed the enemy soldiers, who became almost unconscious, but various yakshas on the battlefield, in a rage against Dhruva Maharaj, somehow or other collected their weapons and attacked. Just as serpents agitated by Garuda rushed towards Garuda with upraised hoods, all the yaksha soldiers prepared to overcome Dhruva Maharaj with their upraised weapons.
Satan pisatkai abhidhavato mride nikritta bahu rushirodharodharan ninaya lokam paramarka mandalam vrajanti nirvidya yamurdvaretasa.
When Dhruva Maharaj saw the yakshas coming forward, he immediately took his arrows and cut the enemies to pieces, separating their arms, legs, heads, and bellies from their bodies. He delivered the yakshas to the planetary system, which is situated above the sun globe and which is attainable only by first-class brahmacharis who have never discharged this semen.
Urdhva Retaja, again it comes. In the beginning of the Dhruv section also it comes. Again it comes. So read this yellow portion.
By Lord or by his devotees is auspicious for non-devotees. Killing, therefore, is not always bad. If a killing is done by the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his devotee or in great sacrifices, it is for the benefit of the entity killed in that way. Material so-called non-violence is very insignificant in comparison to killing done by the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his devotees. Even when a king or the state government kills a person who is a murderer, that killing is for the benefit of the murderer. For thus he may become cleared of all sinful reactions.
So sometimes people in the modern world, they spare the person out of feeling mercy. But actually, when someone has murdered someone, so to kill him now is mercy on him, because then he will not suffer the reactions in the future. No? So material so-called non-violence is very insignificant in comparison to killing done by Supreme Lord and his devotees. No? So people may be speaking ahimsa, paramo dharma and all that, but actually the violence also has its right place, especially when done by Supreme Lord and his devotees. Like when Arjun killed the Kauravas and the company. So then what happened? All of them went back to Godhead. When Sardarji met one time Prabhupada, and he said, Swamiji, I think I was in the battle of Kurukshetra. So Prabhupada says, sorry, you could not have been, because everyone who was there in the battle, he went back to Godhead. How can you still be here? Then he became a little depressed. Because, and there are references in Bhagavatam, Hataha Gataha Swarupam. The one who was killed, Hataha Gataha Swarupam. He got the Swarupa in the spiritual world. Another place it says, what is that? Nayan Abhiram. What is that? Parthastra Puta Nayan Abhiram. So it says that Parthastra, Parth ka astra ne Puta purified him. purified the living entity. And because they were seeing with their eyes the beautiful form of the Supreme Lord while dying, so they got purified. And first they got purified by the astra of Arjuna, and then with that purified sense, they saw the pure divine form of the Lord. So Hari Bol, they went back to Godhead. So all of them went back to Godhead. ऐसा कोई कर सकता है क्या? When Lord Nrsimhadev killed Hiranyakashipu, he delivered him so many sins he has done. उसका count ही नहीं है ना. So much offense also he did, but Prahlad Maharaj was kind upon him. So the living entity, when killed by the Lord or his devotee, it is actually a benediction for that personality. So killing therefore is not always bad. So in this context, what has happened? They go where? Where do they go? They go to Satya Lok or Brahma Lok. They don't go back to Godhead. In this case, where they have gone? Brahma Lok. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments there. Read this. One should not think.
One should not think that they attain liberation with the sannyasis at the end of Brahma's life. That is because one does not even see liberation given to those killed by the Lord, such as Kalameni, other than when killed by Krishna.
So people who are in the Brahmalok, they are many of them are sannyasis, and they are actually doing a lot of austerities. And with Brahmaji, at the end of lifetime of Brahma, what they go back to? Godhead. But if someone has not done the homework, if he's sitting in Satyalok, he's saying that one should not think that they attained liberation with the sannyasis at the end of Brahma's life. Where will they go then? First, where will they go? Brahma's life means winding up of Brahmanda. They will go into Mahavishnu body. And eventually they will again come. So Krishna can award liberation. Okay. An important word is Urdhvaretasha, which means brahmacharis who have never discharged semen. Celibacy is so important that even though one does not undergo any austerities, penances, or ritualistic ceremonies prescribed in the Vedas, if one simply keeps himself a pure brahmachari, not discharging his semen, the result is after death he goes to Satyaloka. Generally, sex life is the cause of all miseries in this material world. In the Vedic civilization, sex life is restricted in various ways. Out of the whole population of social structure, only the grihasthas are allowed restricted sex life. Means out of 4 ashramas, only 1 is allowed. So 1/4 population can only engage in that. 1/4 population can only earn money. All the other things don't earn money also. They don't engage in sex life. And even their sex life is restricted sex life, not like cats and dogs. All others refrain from sex. The people of this age especially do not know the value of not discharging semen. Sometimes nowadays, the doctors say that this is natural. And if you don't do this natural act, then what will happen? You'll go crazy. So that is actually because of artificial suppression. If someone artificially suppresses his sex desire, what is artificial suppression? Like gritting his teeth, and I should, like some of the Mayavadi organizations, they cut the genitals. These Naga Babas, they cut the genital. Now, when you cut the genital, it is not that sex desire has gone. Sex desire remains, but the opportunity to engage in sex is now handicapped, So desire is there and the body cannot execute it. That means the desire remains. Then what will happen? One more body. Because how will you execute that desire which is going on in the subtle body? So the suppression is not the way, sublimation is the way, So, and then Prabhupada clarifies that Urdhvaretasha can indicate Mayavadi sannyasis, but they don't go to Godhead. Someone is Urdhvaretash, if he is Mayavadi sannyasi, he cannot get liberation. Okay. So Harim Vina na Mritim Taranti. Okay, now we go to the section 6 to 14. This Manu's reasons not to kill the Yakshas. So in this section, you will see many important principles that we can learn how to guide a person, how to correct a person without hurting. How to correct without hurting. So we'll explore it at the end of the session today. Again, we will right now not go through that. Again, we'll go through that to go through this section to see what all features are there which help us to see that he was trying to correct Dhruva without hurting. But right now, because purports are not bringing that point, so we'll not take it in the first flow. So tan hanyamanan abhiviksha guhyakan anagashasti chitra rathena bhurisha autana padim kripaya pitamaho manur jagado pagata saharshibi.
When Swayambhu Manu saw that his grandson Dhruva Maharaj was killing so many of the yakshas who were not actually offenders, out of his great compassion, he approached Dhruva with great sages to give him good instructions.
So he and great sages approached him to tell what is right and wrong. Okay, read.
Dhruva Maharaj attacked Alkapuri, the city of the yakshas, because his brother was killed by one of them. Actually, only one of the citizens, not all of them, was guilty of killing his brother, Uttama. Dhruva Maharaj, of course, took a very serious step when his brother was killed by the yakshas. War was declared and the fighting was going on. This sometimes happens in present days also. For one man's fault, a whole state is sometimes attacked. This kind of wholesale attack is not approved by Manu, the father and lawgiver of the human race. He therefore wanted to stop his grandson Dhruva from continuing to kill the Yaksha citizens who were not offenders.
So this kind of mass killing is not approved by the Vedas. This Narasanghar actually, like we hear also of when Parikshit was, when Takshaka bit Parikshit. So, Janmejay tried to finish all the snakes only. So, sir, one snake bit your father, not that every snake has to be killed for that. So, this kind of idea to finish the race, finish the whole clan of people just because one person is at fault is not authorized by the Vedas actually. Yeah. So one citizen had done a mistake, go and kill him, finish, okay. You have to punish that person, you know. Pure khandan pe, why to attack the whole. So that was undue. So he writes it as Atirosh. Now it will come Atirosh. Manuruvacha alamvatsa tiroshena tamodvarena papmana yena punya jana netan avadis tum anagasa.
Lord Manu said, "My dear son, please stop. It is not good to become unnecessarily angry. It is the path to hellish life. Now you are going beyond the limit by killing yakshas who are actually not offenders."
He said, Alam, bas karo. Alam, na, bahut ho gaya. Vatsa, hey Vats, bas karo. No, stop it. Alam, atiroshena. This is, you're crossing the limit. Atirosh ho gaya tumhara. Tamodvarena papmama. He's saying one thing is it is over anger, excessive anger, and it is actually a pathway to hell. Tamodvarena papmana. And he's saying punya janan. These are punya janas. These other yakshas are not at fault. They were doing their own business. कोई सब्जी काट रहा होगा, कुछ कर रहा होगा, आप इनके ऊपर सबके ऊपर अटैक करने चले.
But they also attack, no? Everyone came and attacked. If one
because
of them,
he raised the war, no?
They would have come and asked, na, क्यों आए हो आप, कौंसल क्यों बजाया? If they are attacking, then he will also attack.
Yes. So पांडुरंग शरण को रहना चाहिए उधर. प्रभु थोड़ा वेट करते हैं, थोड़ा आप दोनों को समझ आ गया है. See, Dhruva was also in the mood of war and they were also in the mood of war. Only Pandurang Sharanpu was missing at that time. If he was there, he would have said, wait Prabhu, let us talk it out practical. You killed one fellow. Who is that fellow? Get him out. कौंशल उसी के बजा था, उसको ही मारा. अभी पांडुरंग शरणपु थे नहीं, इसलिए अभी कुवेरा और स्वयं मनु सबको आना पड़ रहा, स्टेजेस वगैरह को भी आना पड़ रहा. ठीक है. Point to be noted, my lord. You can ask acharyas. No? So please stop. Atirosh. Okay, read.
Killing is not bad, but when killing is done unnecessarily or when an offenseless person is killed, such killing opens the path to hell. Dhruva Maharaj was saved from such sinful action because he was a great devotee.
So later you will see from 15th verse onwards that he will tell that finally everyone is, who is the killer? The Lord is only the killer. But Lord is also not to be blamed for it because he is aloof from all this world. You will get to hear that whole string of verses which is given by Swayambhu Manu. So you may say then, if I kill someone, I can just say that Lord is inspiring me. No? Because no one can be killed
Unless Lord
sanctions. No? So one should first understand that killing has to be according to the dharma. Then it is Lord sanctioned item. Otherwise, Lord has given us uh, crops which are poisonous also, but we should not take them. So just because something has happened, it is the unwilling sanction of the Lord that has allowed us to do that. We have to know dharma not simply because I could do it. Lord has empowered me to do something wrong because I had a desperate desire to do it. So we should know that we are also controlled by our desires and then the modes. Not that Lord is responsible because finally He is only allowing me. The sanctioner is not the perpetrator. We have to take responsibility of a wrong action. Okay, Kshatriya?
Kshatriya is allowed. A Kshatriya is allowed to kill only for maintenance of law and order of the state. He is not allowed to kill or commit violence without reason.
एक मिनट.
हाँ. मैं इधर से पढ़ू क्या?
नहीं. Okay, I was just switching on camera.
हाँ. अच्छा.
So Kshatriya is also allowed to kill because Shatat Raititi Kshatriya. One who has to protect others from getting harmed is called Kshatriya. So if someone is a rogue, so he has to be punished. So Kshatriya has to do something for that. So part of it is also killing. Sometimes the punishment may require killing also. So, but that is okay. Like a police, if he does not pick up the gun, then the rogues will really pick up the gun and do anything. So police is supposed to do a role. So, but that also should not be it should not be unreasonable. Like in the army, they can kill any number of soldiers when they are on the war, but they come home with the gun and they kill their wife also. So then he will be put behind the bars. Yeah. So I am the same Arjuna, I am the same Gandhi, but I am killing the inside man, then it's not going to work. Yeah, read.
Lord Manu prohibited Dhruva Maharaj from killing the Yakshas because only one of them was punishable for killing of his brother, Uttama. Not all of the Yaksha citizens were punishable. We find in modern warfare, however, that attacks are made upon innocent citizens who are without fault. According to the law of Manu, such warfare is most sinful activity.
Yeah, like now what is happening in Iran and US, that whole war. Actually, Israel and Lebanon also. So they are killing, like Iran is shooting missiles over other countries which are actually allies of US and throwing all the missiles into the public area. The airport is bombed and some public areas are bombed. In Israel's 40,000 people's home is bombed. So 40,000, not people, 40,000 homes. So many homeless people. So you're bombing not army men, you are bombing civilians. So this is very sinful warfare actually. Of course, US is no less. So Srila Prabhupada writes about it that when like two children, naughty children are there, and then the teacher tells them to pick up each other's ears and do up and down. So both the parties are sinful only. Both are troubling each other. Who is right, who is wrong? Both are wrong. Both are troublesome people only. But everyone suffers. At the
present moment, civilized nations are unnecessarily maintaining many slaughterhouses for killing innocent animals. When a nation is attacked by its enemies, the wholesale slaughter of the citizens should be taken as reaction to their own sinful activities. That is nature's law.
So many slaughterhouses are opening. Even in India, India is the biggest exporter of beef, cow flesh. India is the biggest exporter of beef. So India is also going to get a reaction. We are part of that. So we have to see how we can help India to be saved at least. And all over the world. Actually, when I went to America, I could not see anywhere meat. No. I could not see only anywhere meat or the chicken ka smell and no those lorries which go on in India, na? As a chicken leke ja rahi hai. So I was thinking, is this a very pure place where I have come? No. Or is it not America? Or what is it? Like, so they said, no, Prabhu. How they do in America is so hiddenly, done. They have all the poultry farms in very hidden areas which never are in touch with the citizen area. So when they do it so thoroughly, and after that they cut them into pieces of meat and put them into boxes, and only the boxes get transported, so the person never sees that how the harm has been done to the animal. So they don't know what has happened. So this devotee was telling that when one person was being proposed by his friends and all to eat chicken and all, so he ate also. Then his father took this boy to the place where they do it. And after seeing that, he started crying that I ate someone like this. He was crying like anything. And then he never took meat ever. Right? Because they never see only. It looks like, see, if at your home, what comes is like a packed, dabba, in which you are just seeing something which can be cooked. Then you don't know what has happened, how this item has come actually. Behind that is someone's life is taken, pain has been given. All that they hide it. Very, like in India, it's very gross, no? चिकन जा रहा होता है, सब दिख रहा है, वो फेदर गिर रहे हैं और बदबू भी आ रहा है. No, someone is seeing the badbu. It's like you see here, you smell this. It's bad smell. Then you doubt why am I. It's so bad smelling actually. But they do everything covered. Everything covered. So US is like very polished, hardcore materialism. Hardcore materialism. People they have so much clean roads. You can't see dust also. Forget seeing kachara. You can't see dust. You're understanding? On the road, like हमारा कच्चा रास्ता दिखता है ना, you can't see that. You can only see grass or full concrete. There is no dust. Either the tree is growing or the grass is around it. There is no land which is like tree and then mud and then other item. Either there is grass or there is a tree or there is road. You can't see anything like dust. So much clean they will keep. But inside, they use tissue paper. And and they have very less population. So you may think, oh, this is a very nice civilization. They're living so sophisticated life. There's less pollution. So much peace of mind is there. And people follow traffic rules. ऐसे कोई भी cross नहीं कर जाता. So you must say, my God, such a civilization. But why there is less population? Not because there is less sex. There is more sex and more sin. That means they kill more than what Indians kill in their population. India's population has increased and they're killing, abortion ho raha hai, sab ho raha hai. They're killing more because they have more sex than what Indians have. But they kill all the fellows in the womb only. So they don't get. I asked ChatGPT, if you stop all the illicit sex, then he said, what is illicit sex? I defined it. Illicit sex means sex which is not for progeny. So I said definition, they bola, if this definition you take and tell the amount of sex which is going on in America, he said, then the population will go uncontrolled actually. It will double up in a year only, So it is not that they are very nice fellows. They are going to face serious reactions, sinful reactions. All the sophisticatedness is with the harshness which is coming in their life also in form of complete loss of identity. They don't have any social structure. They don't know who is the father, who is the mother. They get born out of different fathers and mothers and they don't have any peace of mind. So much suicide rates, so much crime rate. There are more jails in America than in India. So it's such less population, but more jails. Why? Because there's so much of crime going on. Yeah, you can't roam in the evening in the free streets very easily. I was feeling cold, so I had worn one, ऐसा वाला भी आता है, monkey cap. So I had worn monkey cap. And I saw the boys are coming for the class and they are not wearing monkey cap. Their nose has become fully red because of snow. No, why didn't you wear monkey cap? No, Prabhuji, you should also not wear. If you wear monkey cap, that means that you are carrying a gun. मैंने बोला मुझे पता नहीं था प्रभु. No, I am carrying gun. If I am wearing monkey cap, अरे ठंड लग रही है भैया. No, such a dangerous world, बाप रे. Killing goes around the university also. University area के बाजू में ही downtown है. So the flat rate is very cheap there. Their apartments are very cheap. Why? Because you can be killed anytime. तो कोई रहता नहीं है वहाँ पे. बहुत बुरा हाल है bro. So slaughter houses and all this, then no peace of mind actually. Can you imagine? You open the door and you will be shot down. You don't know who's going. Dangerous world. India में ऐसा नहीं है ना, है ना? You carry a gun. They carry guns to schools also. You've seen that video? Guns in school? Not seen, huh? एक दिखा देता हूँ फिर आगे बढ़ूँ. If you see that, after that you will really feel कि बेचारे. Actual video. हाँ, actual video दिखाऊंगा. अब उसको देख के मतलब हैरानी की साउंड चाहिए. साउंड है.
Ticking, waiting to go off, and there are many of them in every community.
Students in at least 7 different states have been suspended or arrested for talking about or planning plots of their own.
वो साउंड आपको बढ़ाना पड़ेगा उधर से, और यहाँ से मुझे म्यूट करना पड़ेगा शायद. ठीक है, मैं यहाँ म्यूट कर दे, लेकिन उसको बढ़ाना पड़ेगा.
It's almost like guerrilla warfare. You don't know from which direction the enemy will be coming.
Having a well-conceived and strictly enforced dress code can dramatically improve the safety of a school and can ensure a positive learning environment for everyone.
See, what? No, don't take that. I'll do that. Don't worry. नहीं, अभी कुछ साउंड देखने की जरूरत नहीं, चिंता मत करो. No. So what has she told? See, the superintendent said that we don't know where the enemy will come from. We have to be aware all the time. And then she says that having a very nice dress code can save a lot of violence in the school. And then she proves it through what this child will show now. Please seek. Now you will get the proof. Why?
As this student's appearance demonstrates, having a lax policy about dress makes it easy for a student to conceal a weapon and makes it difficult to identify intruders on campus. A dress code can reduce weapons violations, relieve tensions between gangs, reduce disciplinary infractions, and generally improve the atmosphere of the school. Our policy requires that students tuck in their shirts, making the belt line visible at all times. Our students may not wear baggy pants or colors and insignias that are commonly associated with gang activity. This policy was a collaborative effort.
Yes, our children were indeed something to fear. They had turned into little monsters.
Can you imagine this? Huh? What is she saying? Keep a dress code where the belt line is visible, because hopefully then they will not be able to hide the gun. ऐसा रूल बनाना पड़ेगा भैया. This world has gone crazy actually. Our time the problems were chewing gum and all that, not gun, na? Chewing gum. Okay, let's read further. Nasmat kulochitam tata karmai tatsat vigaritam vadoyat upadevanam arabdaste kritais nasam.
My dear son, the killing of the sinless yakshas which you have undertaken is not at all approved by authorities, and it does not befit our family, which is supposed to know the laws of religion and irreligion.
Na asmat kulo uchitam. ये हमारे कुल के हिसाब से उचित नहीं है. And sad vigarhitam. The authorities do not approve it. Nanva ekasya paradhena prasangad bhavo hata भ्रातुर्वदाभि taptena tvayanga bhartavatsala.
My dear son, it has been proved that you are very much affectionate towards your brother and are greatly aggrieved at his being killed by the yakshas. But just consider, for one yaksha's offense, you have killed many others who are innocent.
Okay. It has been proved, huh? What you wanted to prove? That you are very Bharta Vatsala. अब उसके लिए और मत मारो. Whatever you wanted to prove, हो गया prove, no? So, नायम मार्गो हि साधूनाम ऋषिकेशानुवर्तिनाम यदात्मानं पराग्रह्य पशुवत् भूतवैशसम्.
One should not accept the body as a self, and thus the animals, like the animals, kill the bodies of others. This is especially forbidden by saintly persons who follow the path of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Rishikesha anuvartinam. Na ayam margo hi sadhunam. So the sadhus don't approve of this marga, who are actually Rishikesh anuvartinam. So Pashuvad, you're behaving like an animal actually. So Prabhupada writes, why should
a person who is already engaged in the service of the Lord engage himself in personal sense gratification? Dhruv Maharaj's advice here by Lord Manu that he is pure servitor of Lord. Why should he unnecessarily engage like the animals in the bodily concept of life? An animal thinks that the body of another animal is his food. Therefore, in the bodily concept of life, one animal attacks another.
Like you must have seen dog fight, right? Sometimes they gang also. 4 dogs against 4 dogs, and then they're So I showed you already that lion wala video, right? So everyone is in animal concept life. There is always what is it? What are the koshas? Annamaya kosh?
Annamaya, Pranamaya.
Pranamaya kosh. So they're always having a survival problem, Yeah, if someone is attacking, like if a hen is eating some grains. You are eating chapati, you eat chapati peacefully, not like someone will come and eat you up only, So the Prabhupada writes that the basic conditions of life are fulfilled in nasty conditions for the animals. But humans should be able to rise above it, not kill each other actually. Okay. Like now what is going on as war is like that only actually. Is killing. See, they are opening nuclear uranium, so we should finish them because they will be a threat. Sir, you also have so many nuclear bomb, अपना दादागिरी दिखाने का, Yeah, read.
If the devotees do not, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, if the devotees do not come under control of material affection, then certainly they should not come under the control of violence of the living entities.
Violence to the living entities.
Violence to the living entities.
Yeah. So material affection also, one should not, like sneha is also wrong. Abhisneha, that in the, what is that? Abhisneha nandati, So neither praise nor affection, neither affection nor, what do we say? Aversion.
Hatred.
Na dveshti, na bina. No, there is another sneha also. What is that? Must be 2.57 maybe. Ya sarvatra ana be snehas. Okay, so he just says sneha only, without affection. So one should not get into affection mode also, and one should not get into repulsion mode also. Both are not. सर्वभूतात्म भावेन भूतावासं हरिं भवान् आराध्याप दुराराध्यं विष्णु तत्परमं पदम्.
It is very difficult to achieve the spiritual abode of Hari in the Vaikuntha planets, but you are so fortunate that you are already destined to go to that abode by worshipping him as the supreme abode of all living entities.
So he's telling already you have attained perfection. Now why are you doing this, Baba? Okay.
Since anything material or spiritual is completely dependent on the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Lord is referred to here as Bhutavasa. Dhruv Maharaj, as a Kshatriya, could have argued with his grandfather, Manu, when Manu requested him to stop fighting. But even though Dhruv could have argued that as a Kshatriya it was his duty to fight with the enemy, he was informed that since every living entity is residence of the Supreme Lord and can be considered a temple of the Lord, the unnecessary killing of any living entity is not permitted.
Yeah. So just because he is the Kshatriya, he has the power, he can fight with the enemy, that does not mean he can go unrestricted. Yeah. Sattvam hare anudhyatas tatpumsam abhi sammata katham tu adyam kritavan anushikshan satam vratam.
Because you are a pure devotee of the Lord is always thinking of you, and you are also recognized by all his confidential devotees. Your life is meant for exemplary behavior. I am therefore surprised. Why have you undertaken such an abominable task?
So he is saying, we are recognized by the Lord. Okay, read.
Not only are you a pure devotee, but you are recognized by all pure devotees of the Lord. You should always act in such an exemplary way that others may learn from you.
So you are a pure devotee. Lord is remembering you. You are remembering the Lord. And even you are also recognized by other pure devotees like Narad Muni. So your action should be exemplary. See, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in a little different and a very sweet way, right?
You always, Anu, remember the Lord. And this means the Lord, out of affection, makes him remember.
That means what? That means, how do you always remember?
Lord only sings.
Because Lord is giving him that remembrance. So Lord is very affectionate towards you. Okay, next.
You are always considered by the devotees such as Narada.
And Narada also came for you. So you are in the... See, there are devotees who Lord is remembering all the time, no? So that personality is so important to consider, that Lord is thinking, like when Lord was going towards Vrindavan, he took a detour towards Ramkeli because he was thinking of Rupa and Sanatan. So the Lord is thinking about these two devotees. Whole world is existing anyway, but Lord took a detour. In fact, after Ramkeli, he went to Kanai Natachala and came back only. So the whole thing which they got achieved in the whole program is Rup Sanatan's getting mercy of the Lord. So Lord has so much of thought for his dear devotees. He's always thinking. And he was thinking of Gopal Bhatta Goswami, that I have not heard anything about Gopal Bhatta Goswami. Immediately the messenger came and said that there is a message from Rup Sanatan that Gopal Bhatta Goswami has reached Vrindavan. So who is thinking of him? Lord is thinking of Gopal Bhatta. So like that, actually the devotees of the Lord are always there in the heart of the Lord. So he's saying, you are sitting in the heart of the Lord and you are doing things which are unbecoming of such a standard of life. Titikshaya karunaya maitra cha khila jantushu samatvena cha sarvatma bhagavan samprasidati.
The Lord is very satisfied with his devotee when the devotee greets other people with tolerance, mercy, friendship and equality.
So this is a Madhyamadikari person. Tolerance, mercy, friendship and equality. So which one has to be shown to which? Tolerance for? Titikshaya, Karunaya, Maitraya and Samatvena. Okay, let us begin with the easier one. Friendship and equality?
Equal one.
Equals. Mercy?
Junior.
Innocent.
Innocent.
Tolerance? Senior. Actually senior. So this is actually Acharya's term. I'll read out what he says about it. Senior and one more also. See, Titikshaya, senior. See, by being tolerant towards seniors and when ill-treated by envious. 2. So tolerate in 2 cases. seniors, and I'll come back to that. Senior ko tolerance kya matlab hua? But we'll see first. Karunaya, by being merciful towards the inferior and ignorant. You know, Maitreya Chakila Jantushu, by being friendly towards all equals. Samatvena cha sarvatma, by being equal to everyone, considering others' happiness and distress as one's own. So this Samatvena is on the Tattva platform. Tattva platform of, like when we say Shunichaiva Sopakecha Pandita Samadarshina. So it is on the Tattva platform. Everyone is spirit, soul, I am also soul. And when it comes to dealings between equal seniors and juniors, so in that the Maitreya word is used. Friendship side is used. And Bhagwan Samprisidati, the Supreme Lord is pleased when such a devotee is there. So what is this Titikshaya for seniors? बहुत बर्दाश्त करना पड़ता है प्रभु जी सीनियर्स को. आप क्या बात करते हैं?
Instructions, following instructions and expectations.
Okay, following instructions and expectations.
It might be austere for us. So we
Maybe austere for us. Okay.
Accepting corrections.
Accepting corrections, right. Actually, when seniors chastise us, when there is a, see, our ego will cry, kaisa bola, you know. How many of you face sometimes ego concern when you're, they may be chastising for right thing or wrong thing, that is a different matter. But when chastisement comes, first of all, the ego, the ugly head comes up, hey, kya bola, mere ko bola. We may not speak like this. After going away from that chastising ground, we are sitting in a room and we are thinking, ऐसा कैसे बोल दिया? कुछ भी बोल देते, सोचते नहीं है, समझते नहीं है, है ना? How many have faced it? ये online वालों को देखें, online का.
Depends on also who is that senior.
Depends. Yeah, depends is always there, but it depends on how much you get also.
Yeah.
Some, like say some senior is there, say you say, my senior Srila Radhanath Maharaj, he never chastised me. Because he never are capable to receive only. एक बार करेंगे तो हो गया फिर उस दिन. You're getting, na? So some people are in the radar for us to get chastisement from. Others will say, भैया इसको तो प्रणाम ही कर सकते हैं हम, because he will feel like a very senior person when he chastises a very junior person, then they feel the junior becomes depressed only. So usually that type of interaction does not come with a very senior person. So people who are somewhat not so senior, we also think that they are not so senior, then how can he chastise like this? No. And that is where the tolerance has to be there. I'll show you one verse. See, this is Chatush Kumaras, who have become angry with Jai Vijay. So here he says, Lord himself says, either will see, read this.
The Brahmanas, the cows, and the defenseless creatures are my own body. Those whose faculty of judgment has been impaired by their own sin look upon this as distinct from me. They are just like furious serpents, and they are angrily torn apart by the bills of the vulture-like messengers of Yamraj, the superintendent of sinful persons.
Yeah, so those who don't respect the Brahmanas, they will be
punished.
Now you see here what he says.
On the other hand, they captivate my heart, who are gladdened in heart and who, their lotus faces enlightened by nectarian smiles, respect the Brahmanas, even though the Brahmanas utter harsh words. They look upon the Brahmanas as my own self and pacify them by praising them in loving words, even as a son would appease an angry father, or as I am pacifying you.
Lord really makes a joke there. Or as I am pacifying you. Huh? You are the angry father, and I am also ready to pacify you. So what does he say? They captivate my heart. So if we want to captivate the heart of the Lord, then we should have titikshaya, where if a senior is becoming angry, like what did Lakshman do when Lord Ram became angry with that why did you leave Sita? He was just understanding the pain of Lord Ram, you know. He was not trying to justify his side. So when the devotee becomes concerned about the concern of the senior, then rather than trying to justify his side, then that type of person captivates the heart of the Lord. You should pacify that senior's anxiety which has come in form of anger. That is actually a proper subordinate. But that requires tolerance from the subordinate side. Okay. There are more such verses I can show you. But yeah. So tolerance I wanted to mention.
His general view should be to see every living entity as part of the Supreme Lord.
That samatvena. Okay. Samprasanne bhagavati purusha prakritai gunai vimukto jiva nirmukto brahma nirvanam richati.
One who actually satisfies the Supreme Personality of Godhead during one's lifetime becomes liberated from the gross and subtle material conditions. Thus, being freed from all material modes of nature, he achieves unlimited spiritual bliss.
So in the previous one, he has told what will do? Bhagwan samprasidati. How will this happen? When you apply the titikshaya, karunaya, maitreya, samatven. So beta, see these qualities. Try to see how you can live by these qualities. And if you live by this, then you will satisfy the Lord. And if someone satisfies the Lord, then he is freed from the gross and subtle material conditions in this very lifetime. So this is our goal of life, to get free from subtle and gross material conditions. So how we can do that is only by satisfying the Lord. So we have to live by the right. This is what he had told in Narad Muni's instruction to Dhruv Maharaj also, na? What is that? Anukroshan Gunadamat, no? Maitri Samanatan Vichen. How does it? Gunadikan Mudam Lipset Anukroshan Gunadamat Maitri Samananan Vichen Na Taper Vibhuyati. So same thing. So then we can get free from all the modes of material nature. Okay, read this.
When the Lord is satisfied, the devotee automatically becomes satisfied. This is the secret of the process of Bhakti Yoga. Outside of Bhakti Yoga, everyone is trying to satisfy himself. Karmis try to satisfy themselves by sense gratification, and Gyanis try to satisfy themselves by subtle activities or mental speculation and thinking themselves to be God. Yogis also try to satisfy themselves by thinking that they can achieve different mystic perfections. But only devotees try to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The devotee's process of self-realization is completely different from the process of the Karmis, Gyanis, and Yogis. Everyone else is trying to satisfy himself, whereas the devotee tries only to satisfy the Lord. The devotional process is completely different from the others. By working to please the Lord, by engaging his senses in the Lord's loving service, the devotee is immediately situated on the transcendental platform and he enjoys unlimited blissful life.
Yeah. So till this section now, Swayambhav Manu has guided him in form of some direct instruction that you should please the Supreme Lord. Now he sees that still Dhruva is not satisfied. When Manu saw Dhruva Maharaj was still dissatisfied because of his brother's death, he further explained who is actually the killer and who is being killed. Now he'll go into philosophy. So Prabhus, all of you get up for a minute. Abhi philosophical section chalu hoga. So you get up, stretch yourself, jump around, and then sit down. Those who are online also can do that. So that you don't, now philosophy is going to come. अभी ऑनलाइन पढ़ेंगे. Okay, so 15 to 26 is understanding the ultimate cause as the Supreme Lord. Beta, okay, now I'll give you some Tattva Gyan. First he was telling practical dealing. Now he's getting into Tattva Gyan. Bhutai panchabirarabdai yoshit purusha eva hi tayo vyavayat sambhutir yoshit purusha yoreha. Online, Prabhu, someone can read? Okay, I'm not able to see.
The creation of the material world begins with the 5 elements, and thus everything, including the body of a man or woman, is created of these elements. By the sexual life of a man and woman, the number of men and women in this material world
Just 1 minute. How to change?
is further increased. When Swayambhu Manu saw that Dhruv Maharaj understood the philosophy of Vaishnavism and yet was still dissatisfied because of his brother's death, he gave him an explanation of how this material body is created by the 5 elements of material nature. In the Bhagavad Gita it is also confirmed, Prakriti Kriyamanani, everything is created, maintained and annihilated by the material modes of nature. In the background, of course, there is the direction of Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, Maya Dikshina. In the 9th chapter, Krishna says, under my predominance, material nature is acting. Swayambhu Manu wanted to impress on Dhruv Maharaj that the death of the material body of his brother was not actually the Yaksha's fault. It was an act of the material nature. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has immense varieties of potencies, and they act in different gross and subtle ways.
So here, basically, see here he says that how creation takes place. Body of a man and a body of a woman, the 5 elements are creating, and then further these men and women bodies create more men and women. No? So this is material nature. Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha. And behind the Prakriti is the Supreme Lord, Purusha. But then the living entity is ahankara vimudatma kartahimati manyate. So he's quoting this point to build the subject that Yaksha should not be blamed for the death of your brother. That is the point which is. Okay, read this last.
Dhruv Maharaj was indirectly advised not to be afflicted by the death of his brother because our relationship with the body is completely material. A real self, spirit, soul is never annihilated or killed by anyone.
Yeah. So now, Evam pravartate sarga sthiti samyama evacha guna vyatikarad rajan mayaya paramatmana.
Manu continued, my dear King Dhruva, it is simply by the illusory material energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and by the interaction of the 3 modes of material nature that creation, maintenance and annihilation takes place.
So it's the illusory energy of the Supreme Lord, and that illusory energy is having 3 modes that creation, maintenance, destruction happens. So the 3 modes, Sattva is for maintenance, Tamas is for destruction, and Rajas is for creation. So it's all happening by that. So, okay, you can read this.
This creation takes place with the ingredients of the 5 elements of material nature. Then by the interaction of modes of material nature, maintenance also takes place. When a child is born, the parents immediately see to its maintenance. This tendency for maintenance of offspring is present not only in human society, but in animal society as well. Even tigers care for their cubs, although their propensity is to eat other animals. By the interaction of the material modes of nature, creation, maintenance, and also annihilation takes place inevitably. But at the same time, we should know that all is conducted under the superintendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. everything is going on under that process.
Yeah. So the maintenance of all the living entities is done by the parents. As soon as the child is born, the maintenance starts. Prabhupada is giving the tiger also maintains the cub, although he can eat everyone up. No, but he also maintains because of this nature from the Lord. So this Rajoguna, Tamoguna, Satoguna. And we can see that how we can see those who are situated in the mode of goodness live longer than those in the Tamoguna and Rajoguna. Urdhvam agachanti sattvastha. So they go to higher planetary systems. Okay, so link is further for the next verse. How can creation, maintenance, destruction of bodies take place without some foundation of consciousness? So it looks like illusory energy is doing it. So is there anyone involved in this or not? Huh? You are saying basically illusory energy is doing it. So किसी को पकड़ सकते हैं नहीं पकड़ सकते ना destruction happened of my brother and you are saying it has all happened by illusion energy. So बोलूं किसको अभी blame किसको करूं so he is saying निमित्तमात्रं तत्रासीन निर्गुण पुरुषर्षभ व्यक्ताव्यक्तम इदं विश्वम यत्र भ्रमति लोहवत्. Okay, next devotee.
Somebody else?
Yeah.
My dear Dhruva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is uncontaminated by the material modes of nature. He is the remote cause of the creation of this material cosmic manifestation. When he gives the impetus, many other causes and effects are produced, and thus the whole universe moves just as iron moves by the integrated force of a magnet.
So now he has told that behind that illusory energy is who? The Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he is uncontaminated with the modes. He is not touching the modes, but how is he operating? Like the magnet is moving the iron filings. Like you must have seen, na? Sometimes we do. Either iron filings सामने और पीछे से magnet घुमाएं तो क्या दिखेगा? अरे, how is it going on? It is going on because behind there is magnet. So children also play like that. No? Children keep playing like that. So he gives the impetus. Okay. Read.
How the external energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead works within this material world is explained in this verse. Everything is happening by the energy of the Supreme Lord. The atheistic philosophers who do not agree to accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the original cause of creation think that the material world moves by the action and reaction of different material elements. A simple example of the interaction of elements occurs when we mix soda and acid, and the moment of effervescence is produced. But one cannot produce life by such interaction of chemicals. There are 84 lakhs different species of life with different wishes and different actions. How the material force is working cannot be explained just on the basis of chemical reaction.
Yeah, so the chemical evolution theory says that basically everything came from chemicals. And everything is functioning based on chemicals. There is no superintendent only. There is no Maya Adhyakshena. Huh? But without Lord's Adhyakshata, can everything go on? Material nature is whose nature? Whose nature it is? Lord's nature. So the PVT conditions are bringing rain. But behind that, actually the Lord is involved. So what is that? Parjanyat Yajnat Bhavati Parjanya. Yagna is done, then the Supreme Lord is pleased, then the Parjanya happens. No? So one does not know that. So then he thinks that only these PVT conditions are bringing rain. So what has happened to PVT today, Prabhu? Your the ocean is there, rivers are there, winds are there, sun is also there. Why river beds are drying up? Any answer?
Yajna is not happening.
Huh?
Yajna is not happening.
You know the answer. I'm saying what the other party will say. Huh?
Global warming.
Global warming. So then more water should evaporate. Huh? हाँ और पानी आना चाहिए था. ग्लेशियर ही मेल्ट हो रहा है, पूरा पानी भर जाना चाहिए था. Huh? What happened? River bed is drying up. Huh? Okay, river is becoming dirty because of our chemicals being put into it. But how can river bed dry up? इतना पानी बाहर निकाला गया हमने, डैम बना दिया. तो डैम का पानी कहाँ गया? हाँ? डैम का पानी कहाँ गया? हाँ? उधर ही रह गया।
Lord,
हाँ?
Lord is not pleased.
And Lord is not pleased. So Prabhupada says that Lord has put a big, see, they are saying save water, save water. Actually, there is 70% of this world is water only. But Lord has put a lock over the reservoir of water. What is the lock? No, no, no. Yagna is the key to the lock. What is the lock? Salt. He has put so much salt that you cannot use that water. And desalination is a very costly process. When I went to Oman one time, Oman, Muscat. So I went there. I was seeing only brown land. I felt completely, my senses became purified like Ekadashi Vrata for all the senses. Can't see any, there was no billboard. There is no light only. There is no other color except brown. The buildings are also brown or white. And the land piece is completely brown. And around it is ocean. And इतना पानी है यहाँ पे, कुछ उगता क्यों नहीं है? क्योंकि वहां पे कोई पौधा उगाना है तो उसको डीसैलिनेटेड वाटर देना पड़ेगा. तो कितना पानी, कितना ओशन में से पानी बहुत है चारों तरफ, लेकिन कांट ग्रो एनीथिंग. एक पेड़ नहीं दिखता प्रभु पूरे उसमें. मुझे लगा मैं इंडिया वापस जाता हूँ. लोग बोले थे कितना अच्छा जगह है, दे अदर्स वर ग्लोरीफाइंग इट, हाउ बिग लैंड्स वी हैव, बिग बिग कार्स वी हैव. ऐसे मुझे तो निर्जल एकादशी हो रहा है यहाँ पे. निकलना है मुझे यहाँ, पेड़ भी नहीं दिखता यहाँ पे. So actually all the yagna is not happening, so the Lord is not pleased, so the lock is remaining. There's no water. Sun may be there, but it will not do the job until you get the sanction of the Lord. So the gross reality people see, but they don't see the Supreme Lord behind that whole setup. So if you don't pay taxes, the government cuts the electricity. Similarly, you don't do the yagna, Lord cuts the chemical program. So all the interactions of the material nature are undergoing under the superintendence of the Supreme Lord. So then Prabhupada writes about the example of potter and potter's wheel. So who has made the pot? Potter's wheel or the mud? Who is supposed to be given the credit? मटका बनाने का क्रेडिट किसको जाना चाहिए? हाँ, मिट्टी को या पानी को या क्या बोलते, पॉटर्स व्हील को हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं? Who will you give credit? To the potter, the one who is making it, So the Supreme Lord is the person who is doing everything. Okay. So Krishna says that everything depends on his energies. Yet he is not everywhere. The pot is produced under certain conditions of action, reaction of material energy, but the potter is not in the pot. No. So in the similar way, material creation is set up by the Lord, but he remains aloof. So he simply glanced over it, and agitation of matter immediately began. That means he is not directly involved in the whole situation. He has made it work, and the three modes are there, and we can latch on to whichever mode we want to. The living entity is carried away by the desires. Based on desires, he latches onto some particular type of plan of action, which is in the three modes. So the Lord impregnates the material energy with jivas, and thus different forms and activities manifest. So see, because of the different desires and karmic activities of the jiva soul, different types of bodies in different species are produced. So he's trying to help understand that there is a desire and karmic component as the cause of that living entity suffering. The Lord is not directly involved, but he is the orchestrator of the whole show. He has set the laws. Like imagine government has made a law. So now if some punishment is given, who is giving the punishment? Government. Now can you blame, hey, why did you kill the murderer? No, we didn't kill, he did murder, that's why we had to give him punishment according to the law. Everyone is driving in the traffic, but one fellow crosses the red light, then he is punished. So you say, police wala only is the cause of my suffering. No, sir. Police wala did whatever he was doing for everyone. He was, what do you say? unbiased. But you crossed the law that he had designed for you. So you were supposed to be punished. The varieties of phenomena occur within this universe on account of actions and reactions of three modes, but the original creator is Supreme Personality Godhead, who is mentioned here as Nimitta Matram, the remote cause. So Prabhupada says that the problem with the scientists is that they only go to the immediate cause or intermediary cause, but not to the ultimate cause. Like if they say, suppose they say about how does grass come? How does grass come? Oh, sorry, how does milk come? Milk, correct, grass. How does milk come? Cow gives milk. How does cow give milk? When it eats grass. How does grass turn into milk? That I don't know, no? Grass, you make a machine. Can you make grass into milk? Huh? Put a machine, put grass and milk will come out. सारा मदर डेयरी वगैरह चेंज हो जाएगा हमारा, है ना? Can you imagine? You make machines, you feed grass to it and outside will be the milk. कोई बना सकता है क्या ऐसा मशीन? नहीं सर, नहीं बना सकता. So that is Lord's achintya shakti given to the cow. And okay, how does the grass get the power? From sunlight. What is sunlight? Sunlight is the eye of the Lord. It is coming from Brahma Jyoti. So whatever, you take any track, finally you go to the Supreme Lord. Like if we are able to write something, we are able to write an exam. Okay, बहुत बुद्धिमान है, बुद्धि बुद्धिमतामस्मि, but the Lord is actually the giver of the buddhi. So we cannot remain without the Lord. At every moment we need Lord. Even we have to wake up, we need Lord only. If Lord does not wake us up, then some other fellows will have to wake us up. Okay, let us read further. Kidhar gaya? Yeah. So if the Lord is aloof, how is everything being done? Lord is aloof. So then who is doing it? Sakhalva idam Bhagavan. No, sorry, the meter is different. Sakhalva idam Bhagavan kala shaktya guna prabhahena vibhakta virya karotya kartaiva nihantya hanta cheshta vibhumna khalu durvibhavya.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead, by His inconceivable supreme energy, time, causes the interaction of the three modes of material nature, and thus varieties of energy become manifest. It appears that He is acting, but He is not the actor. He is killing, but He is not the killer. Thus, it is understood that only by His inconceivable power is everything happening.
So one very important word, it will come other places also, not in this section, but other places. Durvibhavya, inconceivable. So this word inconceivable is very important. Okay, you can quickly read, Prabhu.
The word Durvibhavya means inconceivable by our tiny brain, and Vibhakta Virya means divided in varieties of potencies. This is the right explanation of the display of creative energies in the material world. We can better understand the mercy of the God by an example. A government state is always supposed to be merciful, but sometimes in order to keep law and order, the government employs its police force, and thus punishment is meted out to the rebellious citizens. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is always merciful and full of transcendental qualities, but certain individuals have forgotten their relationship with Krishna and have endeavored to
lord it over material nature.
As a result of their endeavor, they are involved in varieties of material interactions. It is incorrect to argue, however, that because energy issues from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, He is the actor. In the previous verse, the word Nimitta Matram indicates that the Supreme Lord is completely aloof from the action and reaction of this material world. How is everything being done? The word inconceivable has been used. It is not within the power of one's small brain to comprehend. Unless one accepts the inconceivable power and energy of the Lord, one cannot make any progress. The forces which act are certainly set up by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but He is aloof, always aloof from their action and reaction. The varieties of energies produced by the interaction of material nature produce the varieties of species of life and their resultant happiness and unhappiness.
Yeah, so one has to accept the inconceivable power and energy of the Lord. Otherwise, one cannot make any progress. So usually people want to put everything within their conceptual box, conceivability, right? So they are like Dr. Frog, Prabhupada says, no? Dr. Frog story, you know. So they try to put everything. How can it be possible? Like Prabhupada has given many talks on these kind of discussions. He says if some insect is born in the night and he lives in the night and dies in the night. And he said, I don't think there is any sun because I never saw the sun. How can there be a sun? I only saw night lamp. How can there be something so big, a globe, bigger than the earth, which is heating device for all time? I don't see any sun. I saw first day, second day, third day, 100 years I saw. No? Because the 100 years of that insect is within the night of the human being. कभी दिखाई नहीं, ये बोलते रहते सन के बारे में बोल रहे हैं, मैंने किताब में पढ़ा कुछ. I think this is all fiction actually. Sir, it is your fiction. So what we have not seen, like someone says, how can an ocean of milk exist? Milk, it is 50 rupees kg, 50 rupee liter milk. How can you get an ocean of milk, sir? It is not coming from the cow, sir. It is not that cow gave that amount of milk. So if we talk about water also, if he has only seen the tap water coming in such small quantity, how can he experience ocean of water? No? How can that ocean exist? But when you go to the ocean, you can understand, yeah, ocean exists. No? So they have not seen ocean of milk. So the Supreme Lord is the inconceivable personality whose power energies are inconceivable. So how does he act? So here he says, how does he act? Fire, ekas jyotsna, okay? That? Ekas jyotir, Vistarita. Forget. Fire is situated in one place, heat and light is actually produced and it is spreading all over. Similarly, the Lord is somewhere. Electrical powerhouse also is one place and all the energies are moving. Now you use electrical energy to produce heat or cold. Whose problem is it? It is our idea. Lord is giving us the energy. So by his incarnation of Brahma, he creates. By incarnation of Vishnu, he maintains. And by Shiva, he annihilates. But the original source, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, is always apart from these actions and reactions of material nature. So further he says, Sonanto antakara kalo nadir adikrit abhyaya janam janena janayan marayan mrityunantakam. Someone else? Online?
My dear Dhruva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is ever existing, but in the form of time, He is the killer of everything. He has no beginning, although He is the beginning of everything, nor is He ever exhaustible, although everything is exhausted in due course of time. The living entities are created through the agency of the Father and killed through the agency of death, but He is perpetually free of birth and death.
So the Lord is ever existing. Before, the whole material creation, he existed. After the material existence finishes, he existed. In fact, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes here, what is this verse? 19, no? Yeah. He writes here that, as the cause of birth, he produces children by fathers, and as the destroyer, he destroys even Yama by Kalagni Rudra. So Yama destroys everyone, but Yama is also destroyed by Kalagni Rudra form of the Lord. So like that, everyone is finished by the Lord, and Lord remains. So Kange, yeah. Okay, read.
The supreme authority and unconceivable power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be minutely studied from this verse. He is always unlimited. That means that he has no creation or end. He is, however, death in the form of time, as described in the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, I am death. I take away everything at the end of life. Eternal time is also without beginning, but it is the creator of all creatures. The example given of touchstone, which creates many valuable stones and jewels, but does not decrease in power. Similarly, creation occurs many times, everything is maintained, and after a time, everything is annihilated. But the original creator, the Supreme Lord, remains untouched and undiminished in power.
Yeah, Swabhaviki Jnana Balak Kriya Cha. It happens by his energies and he is doing his own Murli बजा रहे हैं भगवान वृंदावन धाम में उनको कोई ज़्यादा problem नहीं है इधर. The secondary creation is made by Brahma, but Brahma is created by Supreme Lord. Lord Shiva annihilates the whole creation, but at the end, he is also annihilated by Vishnu. Lord Vishnu remains. In the Vedic hymns, it is stated in the beginning there is Vishnu, and he alone remains in the end. An example can help us to understand the inconsistency of the Lord. In the recent history of warfare, the Supreme Personality of God created Hitler, and before that, Napoleon Bonaparte. And they each killed many living entities in war. But in the end, Bonaparte and Hitler were also killed. People are still very much interested in writing and reading books about Hitler and Bonaparte and how they killed so many people in war. Year after year, many books are published, but for public reading regarding Hitler's killing thousands of Jews in confinement. But no one is researching who killed Hitler and who created such a gigantic killer of human beings. The devotees of the Lord are not much interested in the study of the flickering history of the world. They are interested only in Him, who is the original creator and maintainer and annihilator. That is the purpose of the Krishna Consciousness movement. So the Lord actually killed Hitler, and Lord only made Hitler. No? So that is what no one sees. They only see what Hitler did. No? Okay. So if the Lord acts in this way, he cannot, though Lord acts in this way, he cannot be accused of injustice since he is neutral. This comes in the next session. Okay, read Prabhu.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his feature of eternal time, is present in the material world and is neutral towards everyone. No one is his ally and no one is his enemy. Within the jurisdiction of the time element, everyone enjoys or suffers the result of his own karma of future activities. As when the wind blows, small particles of dust fly in the air. So, according to one's particular karma, one suffers or enjoys material.
Yeah, so now Prabhupada will elaborate on that karma philosophy. I've already spoken about it. Yeah, I already spoke. Okay, this thing you can read Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur.
Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. The jiva is dependent on karma, associated with the elements, follow after moving time, just like just dust particles follow the moving wind. Just as the wind does not see difference whether dust causing darkness or water or fire enter it, so the Lord sees no difference though the jivas experience different karmas.
Yeah. So the analogy given here is a wind blowing, small particles of dust fly in the air. So whatever karma one has, time will make him get that. It is not a fault of the Lord. He is not trying to inflict that karma on that jiva. He took that karma, so that is coming to him. No? So like that. Okay. आयुषोपचयं जंतो तथैवोपचयं विभु उभाभयां रहितस्वस्थो दुस्तस्य विदधात्यसौ. Okay, next devotee. Shaligram.
The Supreme Person.
Okay, you can read. You read, narrate.
Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu is all powerful, and he awards the result of one's fruity activities. Thus, although one's living entity's duration of life is very small, whereas that of another is very great, he is always in his transcendental position, and there is no question of lessening or increasing his duration of life.
Yeah. So, because Uttama is killed, na? So, in certain time, he was not married also, and he got killed. So, someone's life is longer, someone's life is shorter. So, Prabhupada elaborates on that point. One living entity's duration of life. See, what is that? Begin. Huh? The Ayusha apachayam, diminution, no? And upachayam. Apachayam and upachayam. Someone may be shorter, someone may be longer. But this is actually just orchestrated by his own fruitive entity. Read this, Prabhu.
Both the mosquito and Lord Brahma are living entities in the material world. Both are minute sparks and are part of the Supreme Lord. The very short duration of life of mosquito and the very long lifetime of Lord Brahma are both awarded by the Supreme Personality of Godhead according to the result of their karma. But in Brahma Samhita we find it said, Karmani Nirdhati, the Lord diminishes or vanquishes the reaction of the devotees.
Yeah, so first
The
point
same-
is that, hold on. The first point is that the living entity's karma is only defining his lifespan. Don't get caught in the idea that Lord is doing it in that sense. And don't blame yakshas also. Under the laws of karma, a living entity wanders within the universe under the rule of eternal time, and sometimes he becomes a mosquito and sometimes Brahma. To a sane man, this business is not very fruitful. So one goes on in the cycle of birth and death. Prabhupada is taking the opportunity here to tell that this whole idea of becoming more, long life and all that is simply useless. Brahma bhi ban gaya to bhi finally you have to die only. All this temporary business should be given up. Better take to Krishna consciousness. Those who are inclined to material activity remain in the material sphere, but persons who are engaged in devotional service reach the Supreme Lord's abode, and where there is no death, no life, no birth, and varieties of life under the influence of karma. So the best interest is to take devotional service. Bhaktivinoda Thakur advised. Read this, Prabhu.
Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur advised, my friend, you are being washed away in material nature's use of time. Please try to understand that you are the eternal servant of the Lord. Then everything will stop and you will be eternally happy.
Yes. Jiva, what is it? Which is the
Jiv
song?
Jago. Jiv Jago.
Jiv Jago. No. What is this? Not this.
कीट जन्म हो यथा तु दास
Huh?
कीट जन्म हो यथा तु दास
नहीं. जीव कृष्ण दास यही विश्वास कर ले तो हर दुख नहीं. That looks like the second line. Habu Dubu Bhai, no? That one. What is that? Okay. ठीक है. Search. Okay, we'll read further. Okay, read next.
The differentiation among the varieties of life and their suffering and enjoyment is explained by some to be the result of karma. Others says it is due to nature, other due to time, other due to fate, and still others say that it is due to desire.
So in this regard, this others means there are different philosophers who disagree with each other. They are all mental speculators. Okay, so in this, I think here here you can read this part, Prabhu. Vishwan Jagadi Thakur.
Let karma be the cause of happiness and distress, birth and death. True, but philosophers argue about this. Some Lokayats, followers of Charavak, say that it is the nature of matter itself. Others, the Vyavaharikas, follower of Puranas, says it is a time. Astrologers say it is the Devatas in the form of planets, Daivam. Others, like Vastaya, say that it is lust. Shruti says, Kamo karashita kama karoti kamaha karta kama karayita. Lust has done it. Lust is doing it. Lust is the doer. Lust causes us to act. Mahanarayana Upanishad.
Yeah. So different people may give different intermediary factors also. See, is time, is fate. No, fate के कारण होता है, और डिजायर के कारण होता है, टाइम के कारण होता है, नेचर के कारण होता है. सब है ना इन्वॉल्व. All are involved. But the Supreme Lord is the final. So like that, people have different philosophies. Okay. Where are we? 23rd. Okay. Absolute truth. Next, Shaligram Prabhu.
The absolute truth, transcendence, is never subject to the understanding of imperfect sensory endeavor, nor is he subject to direct experience. He is the master of varieties of energies, like the full material energy, and no one can understand his plans or actions. Therefore, it should be concluded that although he is the original cause of all causes, no one can know him by mental speculation.
Yeah. So why he said this? Let me just. This is 23. So, but none of the above philosophers establish the truth, for they are ignorant of the Lord, who is the root cause of all everything. Because, so why philosophers are not able to come to Lord as the conclusion? Because Lord cannot be known by mental speculation. See, the previous verse was listing all the mental speculators. Charvak Muni, these Lokayataza Charvak followers, Vyavaharikas, or Vatsyayanas, or astrologer. These are all mental speculative fellows cannot reach the Lord because Lord is unapproachable by the mental speculators. So here he's saying the Supreme Lord is never subject to the understanding of imperfect sensory endeavors. Okay, the question may be raised, since there are so many varieties of philosophers theorizing in different ways, which of them is correct? The answer is that the absolute truth, transcendence, is never subject to direct experience of mental speculation. Mental speculators may be called as Dr. Frog. A person may be a great academician, scholar, or professor, but he cannot speculate and expect to understand the absolute truth, for his senses are limited. The cause of all causes, the absolute truth, can be known from the absolute truth himself, not by our ascending process to reach him. When the sun is not visible at night, or when it is covered by a cloud in the day, it is impossible. It is not possible to uncover it, either by bodily or mental strength, or by scientific instruments. Although the sun is there in the sky, no one can say that he has discovered a torchlight so powerful that it goes, if one goes on a roof and focuses the torchlight on the night sky, the sun will be seen. There is no such torchlight, nor it is possible. Prabhupada goes very graphic, huh? Takes the torchlight, goes to the roof and shows it towards the sun. The word avyakta, unmanifest, in the verse indicates that the absolute truth cannot be manifested by any strain of so-called scientific advancement of knowledge. Transcendence is not subject matter of direct experience. So in our life also, we may not be caught up in these mental speculators, but we should also have faith in the inconceivability of the Lord. How Lord is acting, how Lord is in making something happen in our life. We may not be able to understand, but we should have faith. What is the plan of the Lord? So in the tattva also and in the dealings also, Lord's plans are inconceivable. Lord's energies are inconceivable. So like if we hear that Dwarka had more population than the entire world has today, कैसे population explosion हो जाएगा प्रभु. So we are going to Dr. Frog philosophy. So Prabhupada, he has given many philosophies like that. Dr. Frog, then dog philosophy, dog philosophy. What is dog philosophy? What is dog philosophy? Dog philosophy means, because I have urinated here, this is my land. If anyone comes here, bow, 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 bow. So frog philosophy, dog's philosophy, then this, this cow, what is that? Camel ass and that, what is that? Savidavara Hoshtakrai. So like that he tells many philosophies in his program. So by the mental speculator, one cannot know the transcendence. Prabhupada says that the absolute truth reserves the right to be exposed to these proud mental speculators or something like that. So, okay. Now, okay, this part says that how does the knowledge get revealed about the Lord? Through Bhakti Yoga, Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. He gives the knowledge. He reveals himself. Then only one can know him. No? And one has to do that bhakti yoga under the guidance of the spiritual master. Okay. My dear son, those yakshas who were descendants, now I'll read through, only fatapat, 11 verses, we'll read through. My dear son, those yakshas who are descendants of Kuvera are not actually the killers of your brother. The birth and death of every living entity are caused by the Supreme, who is certainly the cause of all causes. So he has given a conclusion to the Tattva Gyan. The Supreme Personality of Godhead creates this matter world, maintains and annihilates it in due course of time, but because he is transcendental to such activities, he is never affected by ego in such action or by modes of material nature. So he is not egoistically doing anything. He is not affected by the modes. He is doing everything, but he is not doing everything. So, an-ahankara, he is without ego. The conditioned soul has false ego, but Lord is not having that. Namam karmani limpanti. So the super soul has no matter body because he has no material body. He is not affected by any work that he executes. So Mayavadis, Prabhupada, wherever he can throw the, he can chop the Mayavadis. There are many Mayavadi philosophers who consider Krishna's body as an effect of a concentration of material mode of goodness. And they distinguish Krishna's soul from the body. So Prabhupada says they are wrong. Param bhavam, divyam, his body is transcendental. Okay. So now, this section is ending. One more verse. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the super soul of all living entities. He is the controller and maintainer of everyone. Through the agency of his external energy, he creates, maintains, and so material energy is the one energy, internal energy is the other energy, and this material world is under the material energy. The Supreme Lord is taking all these things again under the material energy, but the Supreme Lord is worshipped by the pure devotees and in the temple. That is not under material energy, that is under spiritual energy, spiritual. Okay, so now we have completed the philosophical section, and we'll quickly be able to complete this last section. Give up anger and surrender to the Lord. So now, we'll read one verse. Tameva mrityum amritam tata daivam sarvatmanopehi jagatparayanam yasmain balim vishwasijo haranti gavo yatha vai nashidhamayantita. Gavo yatha vai nashidhamayantita. Just like a cow is pulled by the nose, dhamayantita, by the rope. Similarly, all of us are actually under the orchestration of the Lord. My dear boy Dhruva, please surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the ultimate goal of the progress of the world. Everyone, including the demigods headed by Brahma, is working under his control, just as a bull prompted by a rope in the nose is controlled by its owner. So material disease to declare independence from the Supreme Controller. Factually, our material existence begins when we forget the Supreme Controller and wish to lord it over material nature. So everyone in this material world is trying his best to become Supreme Controller, individually, nationally, quote unquote, so US, nationally, socially, and in many other ways. Dhruv Maharaj was advised to stop fighting by his grandfather, who was concerned that Dhruva was adhering to a personal ambition to fight to annihilate the whole race of Yakshas. In this verse, therefore, Swami Manu seeks to eradicate the last tinge of false ambition in Dhruva by explaining the position of the Supreme Controller. The word Mrityum Amritam, death and immortality, are significant. The Lord is death for the demons, and devotees, he is Amrit. Devotees who render continuous service to the Lord have already attained immortality. For whatever they are doing in this life, they will continue to do in the next. They will simply exchange their material bodies for spiritual bodies. Unlike the demons, they no longer have to change material bodies. The Lord, therefore, is simultaneously death and immortality. Dhruva was advised to surrender into him in all respects without keeping any personal ambition. One may put forward the argument, why are the demigods worshipped? The answer is given here that demigods are worshipped by less intelligent. The demigods themselves accept sacrifice for the ultimate satisfaction of Supreme Lord. Okay. My dear Dhruva, at the age of 5 only, you were very grievously affected by the words of your mother's co-wife, and you very boldly gave up the protection of your mother and went to the forest to engage in yogic process for realization of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As a result of this, you have already achieved the topmost position in all the 3 worlds. Manu was very proud of Dhruva, that Dhruva Maharaj was one of the descendants in the family. because at the age of 5, Dhruva began meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and within 6 months he was able to see the Supreme Lord face to face. Factually, Dhruva is the glory of Manu dynasty of the whole human family. Human family begins with Manu, and Sanskrit word for Manu is man is Manushya, which means descendant of Manu. Not only Dhruva is the glory of family of Swami Manu, but he is the glory of the entire human society. Because Dhruva Maharaj had already surrendered to Supreme Lord, he was especially requested not to do anything unbefitting a surrendered soul. So if we become devotees now, initiated devotees, we have surrendered our lives to Guru, so we have to live a particular type of life. My dear Dhruva, please therefore turn your attention to Supreme Lord, who is infallible Brahman. Face the Supreme Personality of Godhead in your original position, and thus by self-realization you will find this material differentiation to be merely flickering. What material differentiation he was making? My brother and Yakshas, no? Like that. The living entities have 3 kinds of vision according to their position in self-realization. According to the bodily concept of life, one sees differentiation in varieties of bodies. The living entities actually pass through many varieties of material forms, but despite all changes of body, he is eternal. When living entities therefore are viewed in the bodily concept of life, one appears to be different from another. Lord Manu wanted to change the vision of Dhruva Maharaj, who was looking upon the Yakshas as different from him or as enemies. That's what I was saying now. You know? So we cut into friend and enemy. Factually, no one is enemy or friend. Everyone is passing through different types of bodies under the law of karma. But as soon as one is situated in the spiritual identity, he does not see differentiation in terms of this law. He was specifically advised to do so because he was a great devotee and should not have looked upon the other living entities with ordinary vision. Indirectly, Manu pointed out that Dhruva, that out of material affection, Dhruva thought of his brother as his kin and the Yakshas as his enemies. Such observation of differentiation subsides as soon as one is situated in his original position as the eternal servant of Lord. So one has to see how, like we were talking initially, how Dhruva was discriminated against by Suruchi. So this friend and enemy business we have to give up. You know? Thus, regaining, see how amazing, Vichitra world is this. Uttama actually got killed because Dhruva desired it originally. Dhruva wanted revenge. And that's why Lord only has given him that he will be killed. And he is only taking now revenge for Dhruva's killing with someone who is right now the immediate cause of the killing, you know. Thus, regaining your natural position and rendering service unto the Lord, who is all powerful, reservoir of all pleasure, and who lives in all living entities as super soul, you will very soon forget the illusory understanding of I and mine. So here the Lord is called as he lives in all living entities. So one should see that the Lord is actually also living in Yaksha's body. So give up this I and mine ideas. You know, that's the idea. Okay. Okay, we'll read this. Samyacha rosham badram te pratipam shreyasam param shutena bhuyasa rajan agaden yathamayam. My dear king, just consider what I have said to you, which will act as a medicinal treatment upon disease. कौन सा disease है उनको? I and mine, friend and enemy, this. So it will come as a medicine. So just consider, control your anger. For anger is the foremost enemy on the path of spiritual realization. I wish all good fortune to you. For you, please follow my instruction. Dhruva Maharaj was a liberated soul and actually he was not angry with anyone. But because he was the ruler, it was his duty to become angry for some time in order to keep law and order in the state. His brother Uttama was without fault and yet he was killed by one of the Yakshas. It was the duty of Dhruva Maharaj to kill the offender because Dhruva was the king. When the challenge came, Dhruva fought vehemently and punished the Yakshas sufficiently. Now comes a very important sentence. Prabhupada writes, but anger is such that if one increases it, it increases unlimitedly. How many of you seen? Sometimes you go on to become angry on someone, but later you see, thoda zyada ho gaya. Huh? You know you should be angry, but anger grows unlimitedly. That is the problem with anger. In order that Dhruva Maharaj's kingly anger not exceed the limit, Manu was kind enough to check his grandson Dhruva could understand the purpose of grandfather and immediately stop the fighting. So the word Shutena Bhuyasa, by constant hearing, is very important in this. By constantly hearing about devotional service, one can check the force of anger. That is why we should, Pakka be in the morning program. If we are doing duties for Prabhupada and Krishna, we cannot compromise these things. Otherwise, God knows what we will be doing, which is detrimental to the process of devotion service. Parikshit said that the constant hearing of the pastimes of the Lord is the panacea for all mortal diseases. Everyone therefore should hear the Supreme Personality of Godhead about the Supreme Lord constantly. By hearing, one can always remain in equilibrium, and thus his progress in spiritual life will not be hampered. Prabhupada said there can be material leaders. They can be leaders in the material world without hearing and chanting. But spiritual leadership means leader in hearing and chanting. This is teaching of Queen Kunti, he says. Dhruv Maharaj becoming angry with the miscreants was quite appropriate. There is a short story in this connection. You know that Narada snake, that snake disciple of Narada Muni? So he said, you should hiss. Well, he said, don't bite anyone. So then people took advantage and almost bet him to death. Then Narada Muni said that, yeah, I didn't tell you to not hiss. You should have not bitten, but you could have hissed. So Prabhupada writes a purport to it. Similarly, a devotee is always non-violent. He is qualified with all good characteristics. But in the common world, when there is mischief made by others, he should not forget to become angry, at least for the time being, in order to drive away the miscreants. Like one time, His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj was coming by an auto. So he came by the auto, and this auto wala was cheating him in the money. And he was speaking in Marathi to the other friend of his, in thinking that Maharaj may not be knowing Marathi. तो महाराज ने मराठी में डांट लगाया उसको. महाराज आपको मराठी आता है क्या? So we should not get cheated. Devotees are innocent but not knave. Knave, like bhola versus bhondu, The person should not be foolish, Yeah. A person who desires liberation from this matter world should not fall under the control of anger. Because when bewildered by anger, one becomes a source of dread for all others. The devotee or saintly person should not be dreadful to others, nor anyone should be a source of dread to him. If one treats others with non-enmity, then no one will become his enemy. Jesus Christ, who had enemy and he was crucified. The demons are always present and they find fault even with saintly persons, but a saintly person never becomes angry, even if there is very great provocation. You know that story of that saintly person who went to take bath and he came out and the scorpion bit him. No? And and then he again threw the scorpion in the water, and then the scorpion again came and bit him. And then again he still put the scorpion in water. Again came out and bit him. So the person was saying, what is this? Why are you killed this fellow? No? Why are you again putting him in water? He said, if he is not leaving his dharma, how can I leave my dharma? No? Scorpion's dharma is to bite. He is envious fellow. My dharma is a sadhu, to forgive. Very high-fi thing, huh? ऐसा आपको फॉलो करने के लिए बहुत टाइम लगेगा, मुझे तो फॉलो करने के लिए जन्मांतर लगेंगे. तो anyway, my dear Dhruva, you thought that Yakshas killed your brother and therefore you have killed the great numbers of them. But this action of yours has agitated the mind of Lord Shiva's brother Kuvera, who is treasurer of the demigods. Please note that your actions have been very disrespectful to Kuvera and Lord Shiva. So Lord Manu stated that Dhruva had been offensive to Shiva and Kuvera because Yakshas belong to Kuvera's family. They were not ordinary persons. As such, they have been described as Punya Janan. Somehow or the other, the mind of Kuvera has been agitated and Dhruva Maharaj was advised to pacify him. So when we are dealing with a living entity, we should always remember his masters. We should know what, I'm not just dealing with this living entity, I'm dealing with who they are representing and who are their shelter givers. Then we will be properly disposed in the dealing. Always know the Bharta. Who is the Bharta? Like if you're seeing a woman, first see the husband behind him or the father behind him. Don't see the woman individually, So always see the master, Bharta, and then deal with them. Otherwise we may offend the Bharta. Tam prasad, last verse. Tam prasadaya vatsasu sannatya prashrayoktibi na yavan mahatam teja kulam no bhivasyati. For this reason, my son, you should immediately pacify Kuvera with gentle words and prayers, and thus his wrath may not affect our family. So, someone, if you offend someone, then we can face the reaction for the entire family also. Like this Ramchandra Khan offended Haridas Thakur. The entire city got finished, you know. So if we as a leader do a mistake, our whole subjects will also suffer. I remember one time we had taken his guest Jananivas Prabhu to one of the voices, and he was taken in a that magic vehicle, so magic vehicle. So they were taking and it was going. So by the end of the trip back, Jananivas Prabhu was very body was facing so much difficulty. So when Radheshambhu came to know that we took him in magic, Radheshambhu was so pained. So when Jananivas Prabhu came in the Brahmachari class, in public, he begged forgiveness from Jananivas Prabhu. He said it is a great offense to a great soul that we took him in such an ordinary car which he is suffering. He may be very simple devotee personality because of his bhakti. We have not taken care of him. Lord would like to take him in what type of vehicle, and we are taking him in a magic car. It is aparad actually. We have done an offense to a great soul. We seek forgiveness. So we should be very careful. One time Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, his name is Bhakti Vikas Maharaj had come, and he went for darshan, and behind someone took the chappal. Maharaj chappal size is also very big. So no one is able to find his chappal size also. So then Radheshambhu said, Maharaj immediately gave us the chappal size, we'll make it in one day. So Maharaj gave the chappal size, and we got a new chappal made, custom design. Yeah. So we should be very careful. So our behavior should be such that no one becomes angry and thereby commit a wrong to individual, families, or society. Okay, last verse now. Evam swayam bhuva pautram anushasya manurdruvam tenabhivandita sakam rishibhi swapuram yayau. Thus Swayambhav Manu, after giving instruction to Dhruv Maharaj, his grandson, received respectful obeisance from him, and Lord Manu and the great sages went back to their respective homes. They didn't wait to see what Dhruva is going to say. They gave the instruction, and he said, please consider my instructions. And he went back. He didn't say, so kya khayal hai, abhi batao. What is your, So, I will just take 5 minutes to tell you about that correction mechanism. So we'll just see the words there. So if he came with a kripaya feeling, merciful feeling towards, there's 6 verse onwards. Then 7th May, he says, Vatsa. He uses the word Vatsa. Vatsa means my dear boy. Vatsa is a very pure, very loving way to address someone. And then he told some reasons also. Ati Rosh and Tamadwar. And then he says, Na asmat kulochitan. Asmat kulochitana. Our kul. Aisa nahi ki tumhara kul, Our. So when you embrace the person, like you make him feel your own, and then you say that, see, if we do like this, we all will have to suffer. If we do like this, instead of you do like this, we, our kulla chitta, So, and sadvigaritam, great souls, authorities don't. So he was calling upon the reputation of the big family that you belong to. That means you are, like Krishna also told, Kaunteya, why? Are you Kunti Putra? You should not behave like this. Like what is that? Kutastu akashmalamidam vishame samupastitam anare jushtama swargam akirtim karam arjuna anare jushtama. You are Arya. How can you behave like an Anarya? So this does not befit a person who is Pritha or Kaunteya, Anarya, Arya. Actually, he gave him many galis also later. Kaklaibyam, Shudram. It is, my God, for a Kshatriya to hear Shudram and Klaibyam. Klaibyam means Napunsak. My God. Very. Anyway, so here, he also is helping him to understand that we should have checked with the authorities. Okay, your brother was killed. What do you want to do? You should check with the authorities. No, you didn't get approval. What should be done? Oh, what should be done? It is hanged now. I think time is up. It is saying. अरे बाप रे. Krishna does not want me to. अरे क्या हो गया इसको? हाँ, हो गया. Then he uses the word Bharta Vatsala. See, you are affectionate to your brother, that is accepted. So he was, acknowledging his emotion for the brother. And again he used the word Anga. Anga again means son, my dear son, One place he uses the word Tata also. And he said that you could have done one thing that killed that one fellow, but you killed so many. So he is clearly distinguishing between correct action of anger versus overreaction. If you say मारना ही नहीं चाहिए किसी को, then he will feel injustice, no? So when we are trying to, he went overboard. He was going in the right direction of killing, but then he should have done only one yaksha's killing. So that he went overboard. So, and then again he says that this is not this is animalistic kind of life. So he's giving philosophical perspective and he's not befitting a devotee like you. Now after this he speaks a lot about being a devotee. आराध्य दुराराध्यम. अरे आपने भगवान को खुश कर चुके हो, आप परमम पदम पहुंचने वाला है आपका, फिर भी ऐसा कर रहे हो. So you should, this does not befit. The Lord loves you, so you should do according to Lord's feeling. So we can also tell that, see, if you give such a kind of a thought, like one devotee Mataji, in teenage life, she was going in a wrong direction. So Srila Radhanath Maharaj called her to the room. And Maharaj did not say anything to her. Maharaj just shook his head. I didn't expect this from you. बस उसी से वो ठीक हो गई. Because that means Maharaj is expecting a very high behavior. Because you are devotee child and you are doing like this. Or you are so dear to me as a disciple, but you are doing like this. I didn't expect this. बस उसी से हो गया ठीक हो, no? तो कभी-कभी, love, the power of love works. हम बोलेंगे तो कुछ होगा भी नहीं ज्यादा, ना? I also didn't expect this. Okay, but here he is begging on his being a devotee of the Lord. See, he wants to please the Lord. That is very clear in the heart. So he is begging on that principle that because you are so dear to the Lord and you want to please the Lord, so how can you do something which is unexemplary? So like that he builds a point. And then the qualities that will please the Lord: tolerance, mercy, friendship, and it's a very sattvic way of giving, not correcting like, who are you, rascal, you fool, you move, you give him so many, you call out so many names that the guy remembers only those, labels. You're a fool, you're irresponsible, over angry, rascal, and mode of passion, and okay, sir, So instead, if we could be more sattvic, I myself have to learn this lesson, how to be more sattvic in anger. So, but yeah. Okay, Prabhu, so we have completed 4.11. Thank you very much. I don't know whether we want to do 4.13 together or you want to do it with the next personality. You can tell me, because 4.13 we had decided originally that because there are too many chapters, we'll leave it for the next devotee. So now Durga returns back to Godhead. So
Is it 4.12, na?
Yeah. I told Sachin Bhagavan Prabhu that if we get only 5 days, I can only do 4 chapters. So we took 2 more days like this and we fatafat finished. We finished. I am sure you must have felt the speed in this chapter. Please forgive me for whatever I tried to finish it. Yeah. Of course, those
If it is
philosophical
possible,
sections
tomorrow
you have to read. Yeah, for 13th chapter, what is
if
your
it is
thought?
possible,
Yeah, 12th chapter, 12th.
like, because we have begun with you only Dhruva section, so we can complete it by tomorrow then with you only. Anyways, we have planned also.
So the chapter has 52 verses. Haribo. Yeah, we'll try to. How many of you are okay for tomorrow? You can be honest. I will close my eyes. Or Prabhu will see. अरे प्रभु देखो, ऑनलाइन वाले प्रभु उसमें एक ही ने हाथ खड़ा किया है.
वो लोग ऐसे ही उठा रहे प्रभु. Tomorrow we will
अच्छा
complete this
विलासवर्धन
chapter.
प्रभु, आप अपना यहाँ का वोट लो, मैं आंखें बंद करता हूँ.
Yes, please. Yes, sir. Okay.
विलासवर्धन प्रभु बोलो ना, वोट लेने के लिए बोलना
हाँ वो
पड़ेगा.
कर रहे हैं मुझे. हाँ they're gradually. अरे
ऑनलाइन का हो गया, अभी
मुझे
ऑफलाइन का
ऑनलाइन में
बता.
ऑनलाइन में एक दो ड्यूटी को हाँ छोड़ के बाकी सबका हो गया ड्यूटी.
ओके, एक के अलावा बाकी सब पर. ऑफलाइन में, ऑफलाइन अभी गोइंग टू
अब
टेक द वोट. हाउ मेनी पीपल वांट टुमारो?
मुझे
रेडी हियर.
रिसेंट 2 दिन पहले
मैं रिसेंटली कुछ सबमिट किया था.
सॉरी नरेश ठाकुर प्रभु.
प्रभु जी 2 दिन पहले वो मैनेजमेंट वालों के मैसेज आया है कि महाराष्ट्र काउंसिल लेवल का मीटिंग है कल 10:30 बजे. वो
हाँ
प्री प्लान मीटिंग नहीं था, वो 2 दिन पहले ही मैसेज आया है.
चलेगा
तो बट आई विल ज्वाइन लिटिल लेट मे बी.
नो प्रॉब्लम, नो
ऐसा होगा.
प्रॉब्लम. तो बाकी सब क्या बोलते हैं अभी गोइंग टू कर दें.
10:30 बजे मीटिंग है.
तो 55 वर्सेस मेरे को टेंशन आएगा, लेकिन ट्राई करता हूँ. तो यार सारे बेचारे मर जाएंगे ऑनलाइन वाले. ऑनलाइन बोलेंगे बस बस प्रभु जी, सो जाएंगे बीच में. ओके प्रभु, 11 to 1 करते हैं, बिकॉज टुमारो देर इज दिस प्रीति वर्धन ऑल्सो 2:30 to 4:30. ऑफ कोर्स इट इज ऑप्शनल फॉर यू, है ना. टुडे ऑल्सो इट्स ऑप्शनल फॉर यू. श्रील प्रभुपाद जी की जय. हरे कृष्ण.